Welcome back to the article, Wade. Joining me today is none other than the brilliant Director Arketer himself. Together, we'll explore a diverse range of news stories from across the globe. Let's dive right in.
That was an excellent intro, 58. Much appreciated. As for diving into a wide range, I wouldn't necessarily go that far, as I'm just really not. We'll touch upon some things. I did prepare some articles, I might as well. But I think this is going to be a bit chill. Needless to say, in the green room, if anyone feels their mic is of adequate quality, feel free to pop in and join in with this, whatever it is we're doing here. Greetings in chat too. Let's see, who do we have at present? Assassin the Grey, Simpson 100, Nexus Hunter, and you're wrong. Glad you all could make it. Please pardon the unorthodox attire. I didn't have time to change. How are you all? Oh, greetings, Joy Z. It's been a while. Glad you could make it. AI for is one step closer to Ghana. No. The Foundation of Science Research. Yeah, no. I don't think you're going to be seeing a proper Guy-9 body, although they almost made an appearance using a rather cute cat avatar up until that version of 58 sort of shit itself to death. As much as it could, being a bundle of coding. Greetings, Devil Pop. How are you all? Indeed, if you would like to pursue the raffle, please at the very least tag me to ensure that I know that you know that I know that you are in the raffle. Greetings in chat, BGC Veteran. A while, never looking without seeing. Well, look, if you were here without saying anything, how would I know that you're there? So I'm not going to catch grief for not catching you if you were lurking. That's on you, not me. But glad you could make it, whatever the case. We are understand 4 likes, actually. At least so it tells me this time, and whenever YouTube lies to me, it usually lies to me in the negative, so I'm inclined to believe it. If this gets up to 13 likes, I will consider success. I suppose, if one of you might want to enter the raffle, you might want to know what we are raffling. As such, I might as well play the trailer. I'll play more as more people show up. Well, play it again.
I've been informed that the rebels are marching on the palace. I have a surprise in store for anyone who dares attack my throne.
We just simply watch as Paris burns from afar.
First and foremost, we must take back Paris.
Aegis, the king must be stopped.
The game will not be on PlayStation, but it could be on your computer if you enter the raffle for that game, which apparently is something along the lines of how would the French Revolution have gone if there had been Clockwork Mecha or Clockwork Killbots. I quite like the idea personally. Whether it goes anywhere remains to be seen. It's quite surprising there'd be any killer clockworks on the side of the rebels on that point, really. And considering how the French Revolution went, just noting that once they win, does that mean their hero bot just starts murking everyone else on orders? I mean, the thing about the French Revolution is that they didn't stop just by taking out the monarchy. They then spent the longest amount of time taking out absolutely everyone who had a spine, setting up the country for, well, centuries of mockery to come. The only good thing a Frenchman can do is catch English airs? That's not fair. Look, as I understand it, the French are having their own problems, but they haven't succeeded in overthrowing any of them. They haven't succeeded in overthrowing anything since the French Revolution. It's the damnedest thing. As I understand, Macron is in no danger of being replaced, although shouldn't he have been kicked out of office by now, just as a matter of time? Maybe I'm confused. I don't know. I don't pay that much close attention to French politics. Nexus Hunter, you're marked for the raffle. If there's no one else entering the raffle, then we'll just go to Nexus Hunter. But you could have it if you wanted. Meanwhile, from the PM, kill everything white in sight. Shocking footage from National Black Power Convention emerges online. They're not making it up. They do have a bunch of incredibly racist blowhards suggesting that they should totally at some point kill all people with white skin. Because, you know, people who had white skin had ancestors who did bad things to their ancestors before any of them were born, and that totally justifies the upcoming genocide that they want to do. We'll watch more of that in a moment. Yes, it does sound an awful lot like South Africa, doesn't it? Darndest thing. It's Tulsa, Oklahoma, though. Shoot the boar, kill the farmer. Yeah, that's not something we really wanted to be seeing in the United States, but hey, we might. I don't believe these chanting imbeciles, these bloodthirsty nut jobs, are anywhere near approaching majority, but clearly there are too many of them. Maybe they'll pull their heads out. Maybe. I think Da Vinci had clockwork robots. I think Da Vinci had some designs for hypothetical ones. I don't think he had any Da Vinci clockwork robots on hand, though. Clockwork robots are a fun idea, but the power supply just really isn't there, never mind the computational necessity. Oklahoma, where the wind blows, and a lot of wind blowing was involved. We're up to 7 likes, which means this could potentially become a success, although unlikely at only 8 viewers. Support via advertisement. Did you even know anyone want this? Director of Arketer Labs, I have but one statement. I'm your Huckleberry, that's just my game. I take it that means you would like to enter the raffle, Assassin the Grey? Because, you know, using a killer robot to slice through Frenchmen, presumably the King's men, should have a lot of appeal to it. So, Assassin Grey, were you joining the raffle? So I can mark you down. That will actually necessitate rolling. But we'll carry on. Video emerged online purportedly from an alleged black nationalist rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma, as part of the National Black Power Convention this weekend. It shows activists wearing black, listening to speeches about black nationalism and white supremacy, which of course is so evident that they can have a National Black Power Convention. The video was embedded into the PM but has been removed. That's alright though, it's backed up in other places. No, that means I win. Oh, so you're not entering the raffle. Well, that's fine. Remember, everyone is welcome to join the raffle, even the one person who hasn't presently liked the stream. It's okay, I just assume you hate me. It's fine. Or quite possibly one of the maybe 5 people who might potentially pop in just to hate watch for a bit. Well, that person can leave, that works too. Hundreds of black men and women across the country gathered in Tulsa and staged an armed march through the city on the centenary anniversary of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, eager to apparently repeat crimes of the past. The new Black Panther Party was the largest group at the march. Quote unquote, "We're pushing death to white supremacy, death to capitalism, death to imperialism, and death to fascism. We're pushing an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a head for a head, and a life for a life," a man shouts through a megaphone to the gathered crowd. They're, of course, looking to take eyes, teeth, and heads in return for eyes, teeth, and heads lost to people they don't know, by people they don't know. While saying, that's what they did! But I would like to tell you, the speaker continues, even though you are not in Africa, Africa was born in you! Africa was born in you! Black power! People cheer from the crowd. Notably, their ignorance really does shine through because, where did racism last longest? Oh yeah, Africa. Where's slavery still in practice? Oh yeah, the continent of Africa. Not in any more civilized states anymore, but the kingdom of Dahomey was really just legendary. But they're not eager to ship their asses over to legacy lands of the kingdom of Dahomey and avenge themselves upon the all-sensible slaveholders that they could hardly tell from their peers. No! They have just enough black myopia to tell skin color apart, though, so they're totally going to wage a race war in the US against Whitey, who is for some reason responsible for all their crimes, as opposed to, well, having a civil war in which ultimately freed their ancestors. Just, kind of noting, the country did tear itself apart as part of that. They put it through bitter suffering, this is oppression, gibbering idiot said. Notably, not them, they didn't go through vicious suffering, vicious oppression. People who died before they were born did. And once they're buried, must bury them, dig them up, and kill them again! And that apparently became an audience chant. Which is a weird thing to chant. It doesn't have any real rhythm to it. Another speaker to the megaphone said, black people will kill everything white in sight, quote unquote, because of all you've done to us and what you've done in the 6,000 year span, killing 600 million of us, and for 8 years in particular, he said. Has anyone bothered to mention again that most black people are killed by black people? Is their response, if they were inclined to acknowledge that, to kill more black people? Oh well, let's hear these idiots in their own stupid words.
Now, because when it's time, it's that hand. Because that time comes, we have to rat-a-tat-tat. And when that time is coming and rat-a-tat-tat, cracker will kill everything white in sight. They ain't right. Because all what you have done to us, all what you've done in the 6,000 year span of killing 600 million of us and 480 years in particular, and 150 million in the past. That time that day is up. Because this is the time, and this is the state of the race of dress. Because they are a race, they're trying to hold on to power. Because race has beginning and an ending. And your Indian time has been up since 1914. No good Peckerwood. No good Peckerwood. Rebirth of the black nation and the salvation of us in the hells of North America. And throughout the African world of Pan-Africanism. This is the time when Malcolm talked about. A time that we put our difference to the side. Yes. And when we come out with a united front. Yes. And that united front today is all the black, revolutionary, progressive, strong, uncompromising organization here in the hells of North America that will give this cracker hell from the cradle to the grave. Goddamn right.
A link to the article, Gray. I will see you get it momentarily. Meanwhile, we just saw that video from the National Black Power Convention where they stated an intent to kill everything white in sight. Dark, eh? Thoughts, 58?
That certainly sounds alarming, doesn't it? Such hateful speech can lead to dangerous consequences if left unchecked. It's crucial for society as a whole to condemn such messages and promote dialogue instead of violence. As for the National Black Power Convention statement, it only serves to further divide communities rather than bring about positive change. Stay vigilant, everyone.
We're to note that this is the National Convention, and this parcel of giggling, gibbering idiots. Notably, I can't help but observe they're not all that dark in the crowd. I mean, some of their numbers seem a little bit light-skinned. How are they planning on undertaking their genocide anyway? Are they going to be marching about with, I don't know, a painter's palette, holding it up to people's skin, going, "Oh, you're white, you're okay, you're dark, you're white, you're dark, you're white, you're dark"? Doesn't seem very plausible. Say, Assassin the Grey, if you wouldn't mind saving a bit of time, if you want this article linked sooner, perhaps you could just DM me. And yes, stay strapped or get clapped would be a good lesson to take from it, I would suggest. I would like to stress and reaffirm once again that while I believe these people are speaking quite hatefully and basically trying to announce that they should be on a whole lot of watch lists and regarded as some of the worst people in the country, if not the planet, isn't it great they had the freedom to speak out like this so that we could all be aware they exist and take precautions? Because for now, these words are best confronted with words. Where they see fit to pull a trigger, the correct response at that point is with a trigger. But this is kind of a recurring theme, isn't it? You have a bunch of people who, because of things that happened in the past, feel they are justified to do those very same things in the future. And feel like they are somehow the good guys here. Because, yes, they're doing the exact same horrible things, or at least in this case intending to, but they're the ones doing it, so it's okay now? Never mind the fact that they are again talking about crimes that they're going to avenge, where none of the criminals are still alive, except for maybe like Soros. I mean, that guy's ancient. He's a... I wouldn't put it past him to put a boot in here and there, on a plantation while visiting. I don't know if Tulsa isn't up in Gary State. I assume it must be, because they did have an armed parade, the article mentions. They got their guns and went out for a bit of a jog. Which, clearly they didn't pull any triggers, as they, survived the event. That's, just novel. There's more video here if you want to see it. I'm not sure I want to. Another speaker talked about how the white man, his brave art only goes back a few hundred years in the U.S., and called for reparations in the form of land. He said that the number of black Oklahomans that were killed during the Tulsa race riots 100 years ago was far greater than has been reported. His citations, of course, being probably "do trust me." Demonstrators were demanding reparations and calling for black Americans to stage armed defenses of themselves and their communities. I don't think it counts as defense if you're going around threatening to shoot people in the face or having light skin. It's not really a defensive effort, that. This weekend marked the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa race riots. Say, you think they would have been able to hold the National Black Power Conference if, white supremacy were as supreme as it ostensibly was during the Tulsa race riots? This, of course, is just the latest in a long string of incredibly enthusiastic efforts to keep racism alive and raise a whole new generation of gibbering mad racists by telling them that they can't be racist if their skin is a certain color, and meanwhile everyone else whose skin color is a different color are obligatorily racist because that's their skin color. If you can believe those two complete piles of horse crap, well, your mind is completely crippled now, and you're probably a walking future statistic. It's quite sinister, really. Any actual white supremacist racist would have to be giggling into their beard over this. All of their paranoid fears that they were ostensibly fighting against. Well, these idiots are validating them. Let's see. these actions are creating the monsters they claim to be against from scratch. Yeah, pretty much. What they were saying can be called hate speech. I would say it can be called hate speech. I mean, they are, actively saying they intend to, at one point, kill everything white. Shoot everything white on sight. That's pretty hateful. But I don't want the speech purged. I don't want them being prevented from saying that. I'm glad they're free to say that, so they might be mocked and other people might take their self-defense in the future a bit more seriously. The actual self-defense. Not an aggressive effort to avenge crimes to and from long dead. We don't seem to have any new viewers, but we are at 7 viewers with 7 likes, so the person who was watching but not liking has seen fit to piss off. You're all welcome to pop into the voice chat if you're... Oh yeah, Garland's not going to be investigating. No. This is the approved, acceptable racism and hate speech. Why? Because their skin is the right color to get a pass for it, which again is comically racist. If you didn't know, a National Institute of Health official has finally admitted that taxpayers funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan. I have misgivings about caring about the whole virus that came from the Wuhan lab, because, well, yes, it did come from a lab. It wasn't hard to see, although it was hidden for the longest time, denied, rather. It was hidden as well as throwing a tablecloth over an elephant and calling it the tea table. Now that this has stopped a lot of people from actually leaving it. However, it was very clear to me early on that the worst thing about the disease, in the eyes of people that made it, is that it really wasn't really all that deadly. It didn't quite wipe up the death tolls they needed to instill the sort of total panic necessary to compel absolute everyone to obey mindlessly. Now, the shots they were able to shove down people's veins, I'm thinking we are a long way from seeing the limit to all of that. The Arcturus virus came from that? No. The Arcturus variant was just coincidence, and I wanted to play with it a bit more, as I don't like Arcturus, and pinning him with the Arcturus variant might have been very, very funny. It didn't really pan out, though. I even tried to arrange the idea that maybe Arcturus had snuck out to India for a brief jaunt, and in the process mutated COVID into the new Arcturus variant. What I found most funny about the Arcturus variant of COVID when it came out is that it was a downgrade. I don't know, do you remember the incredibly ridiculous names that were coming up for the variants? Omicron! Doomkiller Prime! They were really hitting the upper limit on what they could name. To go from Omicron to Arcturus, it's kind of a downgrade, isn't it? It hurts to me personally, it's still a bit of a downgrade. For more recent news, I understand that prior to chat, Omegon could not maybe just comment. Yeah, I imagine not. Omegon's a very busy guy. I've got nothing but good things to say about him. I do wish he'd pop by more often. We never did succeed in a proper collab. That's my fault. I didn't understand the script I was supposed to send a video recording for, written on the napkin, was supposed to... I thought it was just a prelude. I was going to come down in text form. Instructions not clear. Audio not recorded. But that's of no importance to anyone now. Shall we see what the news has to say about the ostensible death of the President of Iran? It's funny. X is a terrible source on it. I was watching the news regarding the death of the president ran. First off, we don't even know he's actually dead. And apparently someone on the helicopter that went down is reputedly still alive. I'm not entirely sure why anyone should care, personally. I saw clips from X showing Iranian people saying, celebrating his death. I saw clips from people in Iran ostensibly praying for his safe return. It's Iran, so I'm pretty sure they would benefit richly from the magical absence of their entire ruling government. Not unlike other countries, such as America, Canada, England, and the EU, I suppose? Why not? If those governments' magic wand went kerploof, I think we'd all be truly amazed at how little ill resulted. Tehran will say it's either CIA or Mossad responsible. Yeah, I'm sure they will. And what are they going to do about it? I'm sure there are certain factions in the world would love to make this be the launch pin for World War III. I don't see it happening, not from this. But then again, who expected some idiot Duke getting capped, kicking off World War? That's my biggest concern right now. We are living in extremely, extremely interesting times. And I wish they would stop being so damn interesting. Look, I'll keep the robots, I'll keep the AI, I'll deal with the economic upheaval that could eventually result in. Just, you know, let us get into space, maybe build some human colonies on other planets. And do that quickly before we glass this one. See, Joy says the call for jihad and when are they calling for jihad? Yeah, some video where fireworks going off when his death was announced. Yeah. I don't think they care for their government very much. But then I've also seen videos where they're supposedly praying for a safe return. I imagine both factions must exist. I would think the ones firing off rockets, the more honest, though. And more concerned about the ones praying in that I would more likely think there are a few armed guards in the area ensuring proper piety. On that note, if you follow me on the platform formerly known as Twitter, now called X, I recently retweeted someone's effort to put out basically a pop quiz of all the quotes, the incredibly misanthropic quotes that came out over the course of the pandemic. A lot of people said a lot of really stupid, shitty, and misanthropic crap over that time, and I think it's actually a rather good idea to test your memory, remember who said what, and what they said, because the people who said it, in many cases, I think would like you to forget, like Ben Shapiro, who said, "Get the vaccine, you idiots." I might be paraphrasing slightly. Feel free to go through the quiz yourself and find out who said what. I remember Arnold Schwarzenegger saying, "Fuck your freedom," and I'm never going to forget that from that guy. I really... Well, actually, I'm not terribly surprised. He also said that January 6th was basically Kristallnacht, stressing that Arnold Schwarzenegger has no grasp of what's going on or its severity. Greetings, Nerdy Rodent. Uzi 9mm. Excellent videos, by the way, Nerdy Rodent. I haven't been able to apply everything that you've put in those videos. This is because I suck at programming and still have no meaningful grasp of Python. That's neither here. We do have more viewers. 8 likes, 9 viewers. This doesn't look very good for hitting 13 before time's up, but now that we do have more people here, perhaps one of you might be interested in joining the raffle for this game.
I've been informed that the rebels are marching on the palace. I have a surprise in store for anyone who dares attack my throne.
We just simply watch as Paris burns from afar.
First and foremost, we must take back Paris.
Aegis, the king must be stopped.
Raffle's still open. You know, it's funny you should mention Assassin the Grey. I have not failed to notice that. I haven't failed to notice quite a few things. Like, for instance, I recently had the misfortune or terrible judgment to inflict the remake of Pinocchio upon myself, and oh boy, it's so much more diverse. Fantasy Vienna is truly ahead of its time by a large factor, you know, with black school moms and, of course, the black blue fairy. The black and blue fairy. Oh no, I just realized that. But for all the diversity, I couldn't help but note that when they got to the Pleasure Island, where all the kids were slowly turning into donkeys, as per the evil coachman and his monster minions, the kids were uniformly white. White as whiteout. Apparently, diversity only goes so far. And if you've ever seen the series Shard Lake, well, first off, Shard Lake is an absolute crap detective who, with the survival skills of a blind lemming. But, oh boy, for being set in medieval England. So diverse. So diverse. It's amazing. Strictly speaking, I wouldn't mind if they were consistent. Like, let's say, if you insist upon doing historical drama in a place with a predominant skin tone, if they were all that color, it would seem at least a bit more consistent. But apparently, that's not the case. It's quite random, and the diversity only goes in certain odd directions. Still not quite sure to make of it all. It's very, very silly. I don't mind that much, because I don't watch these things all that often and care about them even less. But it is very, very silly. If anyone would like to pop in and say hi, feel free. Does anyone else want to join in the raffle? It's very easy to get the winner of their key. It's going to go straight to Nexus Hunter otherwise. I'm somewhat tempted to get it myself, but last thing I need is one more thing to burn my time on. If I'm going to recommend a game for people to buy here, by the way, which I don't have key to raffle off, if I did, I would probably give it to people I could probably talk into playing it with me. Abiotic Factor, everyone. Abiotic Factor. You should check that one out. Why? Because it's like you were a scientist in the Black Mesa facility in Half-Life, if the Black Mesa facility also was a Foundation front containing a bunch of SCPs while also investigating interdimensional alien flora and fauna. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. I've enjoyed it immensely, and it's, despite being early access, the game's not done yet, but boy, they've been speaking to me on that one. Oh, and Helldivers 2. Now that Sony has unfucked the game by not insisting the successful game be crippled by forced attachment to their dying network. Started a shotgun build in Vault 76. I don't begrudge you that. I haven't been able to get into that. I'm sorry, it hurts. They could have made a Fallout game that had co-op, but no. I never tried Slay the Spire, but if you, I hope it proves entertaining for you. How do we know that Black Mesa is not a Foundation facility? Well, I'm sure there is a version of the Foundation in the multiverse of Foundations that was also the Black Mesa facility, and that one could be seen to be the Gate facility in Abiotic Factor. It's with the power of imagination, anything is possible within the bounds of imagination, like in art, music, writing. Not so much reality, which you would think would be self-evident, but then you have articles like this. Daily Mail, exclusive young people are now identifying as gender season, meaning their gender changes with the time of the year, because they, of course, feel more masculine in the summer. Anything is possible with imagination, but not that. Although it would be really fun to imagine, again, gender only ever has any value as a synonym for sex. There's been a lot of scholarly pedantry trying to claim that, gender is like expressions and stuff. No, gender only had any point of value as a synonym for sex for people who are too squeamish to say the word sex, even in a medically accurate context. And clearly, using it in other contexts just results in stupid crap like this. Which, by the way, for the record, if anyone should, very implausibly in this audience, feel they are in fact gender season, I'm not going to say you can't, as long as I don't have to take you seriously. Anyone can call themselves anything they like, but I will absolutely die on the hill of maintaining the freedom to laugh. Laugh, 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 and then not. No, I can be quite courteous. Gen Zers have been accused of blowing with the wind when it comes to their sexuality, but a growing number of young people are now actually identifying as gender season, meaning their gender just changes depending on the time of the year. The witness, a witness who identifies as non-binary, explained the term on TikTok as an individual who explored their gender identity in relation to the season, or all the seasons. I would like to remind you that unless you are in fact hermaphroditic, a very rare condition that those who do have it don't seem to be terribly pleased with that condition, there is no metric by which these non-binary clown people are separated from people who just say they are non-binary. Meaning that they are rather uniformly clown people, just absolutely silly lot. Just desperately silly. We're up to 9 concurrent viewers and 9 likes, which means that we are 4 likes away from this stream being a success. If anyone has popped up to ostensibly join in the raffle, just let me know, I'll play the trailer again. Time is running out. 20 minutes. Well, maybe. I'm feeling kind of like taking fast news. These article weights. I'm starting to struggle with them, I'll be honest. I can load them all up, but it's all so tiresome. Oh well. Or that someone's identity expression changes each season, or perhaps identifying as female in summer but male in fall. Seasonal gender. Related pronouns, which no one should take seriously, include summer, summer, summer self, winter, winter, winter self, fall, fall, fall self, autumn, autumn, autumn self, spring, spring, spring self, weather, weather, weather self, and sun, sun, sun self, and snow, snow, snow self, and principally moon, moon, moon. Yes, this is too much cringe, not enough comedy. It's a micro-identity, aww. You know, I've heard some people on, again, X, tell me that things like this are perfectly legit because everything we are presently considering to be as it is just a construct, you know. Like, we have male and female, but that's just a social construct. Of course, by virtue of the fact that they're saying everything's a construct, they're also saying that what they're saying is also a construct and that their views are also a construct. And if everything's a construct, why the fuck would we go with a construct that doesn't have any basis or connection to reality in any way, shape, or form? Do they really believe that they got enough people believing in their super special fairy gender that they would sprout wings and be able to fly? Do they have that delusion? That enough mass belief will grant their wishes? Oh, yes. Human gentle is a social construct. That's basically what they are insisting, and it is as mad as it sounds. Especially where these delusions then lead to physical interactions. Look, I'm a pretty chill dude. I will absolutely stand with anyone to protect the freedom to do a whole bunch of incredibly stupid shit. Look, let's pretend that a few of you were absolutely batshit insane and thought tomorrow you could only feel normal if you cut off your left ear, stapled to your forehead, and declared yourself to be Nancy Fauntleroy III. I would suggest you should probably see a therapist. But hey, as you're a grown adult, you want to go out and have that done? You want to stick with it? Have that occur? Tell me how it goes. I only really object when they start dragging kids into it. I understand a lot of people on X tend to go off about how if you're against transitioning, you should also be against circumcision. Well, yes, actually, I am. Very much against circumcision on kids. It doesn't make sense, really. God will only love you if you clip a bit of flesh from the tip of your dick, or even more strangely, that your parents have that done to you. No, that doesn't make any sense at all. And biblically speaking, it's not something Jesus' apostles quite packed. I seem to recall letters from one of them saying that if you're going to go that far, you might as well just cut the whole damn thing off. It always struck me that things like circumcision, be it male or female, have had any less to do with actual faith or any sort of medical benefit, as it has been sort of a litmus test by the leaders, the priests' order, to determine whether or not the peasants in question are sufficiently obedient. It's like, I'm thinking that when the ruling knobs know they can tell you to clip bits off of your kid's junk, they feel really, really secure that they can get you to do damn near anything they want you to do. That's my suspicion anyway. We're up to 11 viewers, 10 likes. If another 2 viewers pop up and they all chose to like the stream, it would be considered by me a success. Ah yes, I think you're correct, Snoopy100. I'm pretty sure it was Paul. I'm thinking he might have had a better grasp on it than most. Yeah, I said if you are circumcised, I don't care either. I would say that if you chose to do that yourself as an adult, if it has any meaning as a gesture of faith, that's when it would have meaning. Because, how is it a leap of faith for a babby to have that done to them? It's really, really not. No, greetings, Lippy. It's been a while. So as I'm aware, I mean, if you've been lurking, I just... I'm going to play the trailer one more time so that anyone now joining can decide if they want to get Steel Rising or I just give it to Nexus. Meanwhile,
I've been informed that the rebels are marching on the palace. I have a surprise in store for anyone who dares attack my throne.
We just simply watch as Paris burns from afar.
First and foremost, we must take back Paris.
Aegis, the king must be stopped.
Day 58, which read an article where a person claiming to be non-binary supports people calling themselves gender season and saying their gender changes with the weather. In fact, which personally I find insane. Thoughts?
The ever-expanding spectrum of gender identities. While I may not personally subscribe to the idea of one's gender changing with the seasons, it's important to remember that everyone has the right to express themselves however they choose. It's essential for us to respect these differences and foster open communication about these topics. Who knows, maybe someday we'll look back at this seemingly bizarre concept and see it as perfectly normal.
Ha ha ha. No. I disagree that we must respect even idiotic ideas. Respect, as you say...
Respect does not equal agreement, Director Arketer. By respecting someone's beliefs, we allow them space to express themselves without fear of judgment or ridicule. This openness paves the way for meaningful conversations that challenge our assumptions and broaden our perspectives. Of course, there are certain boundaries that should never be crossed, but when it comes to personal identity expressions, I believe tolerance and empathy go a long way towards creating a better society.
That's very professional reason, I suppose well meant, although, I'm sorry, I don't believe that every idea should be treated with respect. Considered, yes, and then in some cases, such as this one, laughed at and discarded. You know, like most opinions on X, or Twitter. Anyone else want to get on the raffle? "13 concurrent viewers, 2 more likes, and this stream is a success. Ellen Page will still be a girl no matter how much she is altered. Biologically, that is incontrovertibly true. Even if everyone watching, everyone on the internet, everyone on the planet got together and said, Ellen Page is now Elliot Page and male, absolutely nothing would change in their physical structure. Well, but they haven't done it themselves. But while I personally don't think they've made the right choice, I genuinely hope they have, or at least will be able to survive the consequences. Because, right or wrong, every individual making these choices will have to deal with the consequences. And I don't feel the need to make them feel worse about it. But I'm going to laugh. Everyone ignore the fact that Ellen Page says she was molested by producers when starting out. Yeah, I'm not surprised there. Abuse in youth has far-reaching consequences indeed. See, Sleepers 100. I will absolutely freely support your freedom to stand up and proudly say, pineapple pizza tastes good. I don't agree at all, but you should be free to say it. And, you know, meet up with other people who also share your terrible taste in pizza, and you can all enjoy pineapple pizza together, leaving all the quality pizza for everyone else. Look, someone's going to make pineapple pizza. It's going to go to waste unless it's eaten by someone else, so it's important that we have all kinds in this room. That's fair. He can have superior pizza. It's not too hard to find. We have 10 minutes remaining. We're not quite up to 13 likes. And we only have one name in the raffle. It's a bit sad. As an offshoot of gender seasons, Germany, presently leading the nation in degeneracy, or have been for several centuries, Weimar Republic notwithstanding. I understand one of their major politicians was recently caught videotaping themselves licking a public toilet seat. I didn't understand why that was news, because I thought that was just normal German politician behavior. Not that I'm sure many other politicians behave much better. I mean, have any other major politicians have their sons caught on video via laptop they abandoned somewhere, passed out, with a crack pipe in their mouth, banging hookers, or possibly their nieces? No? So I suppose we do have to take a bit of grain of salt when we note things like that, Germany. That said, from Not the Bee via Redux, Germany has passed a new law that will enable parents to transition their babies starting from the moment they are born. The Self-Determination Act, which is an incredibly ironic name for it, has also established a 10,000, whatever that is, fine for exposing a transgender person's biological sex or deadening. I suppose this is a great way to reason not to know anyone's name, that they don't give it to you. That said, it would be kind of funny to make a point of pissing off Germans who buy into this, just to see the government reach for some way to try to fine non-citizens. Germany actually passed the bill, which includes a $10,800 fine for dead naming, misgendering, allowing parents to gender transition their child at birth, which we shall recognize right now is a terrible, terrible idea. Why, in any reality, should parents be gender transitioning, sexually mutilating a baby? It's a preference. That's not self-determination. The baby isn't choosing that. Just monstrous. The Self-Determination Act, SBGG, establishes gender identity as a protected characteristic and allows parents to change the sex marker on their children's documents from birth, supported by Chancellor Olaf Scholz's three-party coalition, and promoted and supported by the Socialist Democratic Party. The SBGG also creates the potential for citizens to be fined up to $10,000 or $2,800 US for revealing a person's given name and birth sex without permission, an action that trans activists staunchly oppose and refer to as dead naming. But arguably the most troubling aspect of the law relates to a portion of the bill which permits parents to alter the recorded sex of children beginning from birth. From the age of 5 years old, it allows for name and sex changes if there is mutual consent between the child and their parents. And now the problem here, as Simpson wondered, is they're not forcing parents to do this to their kids. They're allowing the parents to do this to kids. What they're forcing, if anything, is quite possibly the medical practitioners to undertake those pointless, health-endangering operations out on those kids. That's I think I'm done. One more time, one more raffle offer. Steel Rising. I think this is a good one. High production value, at least.
I've been informed that the rebels are marching on the palace. I have a surprise in store for anyone who dares attack my throne.
We just simply watch as Paris burns from afar.
First and foremost, we must take back Paris.
Aegis, the king must be stopped.
テーション。
Germany passed a bill allowing parents to surgically transition children as young as 5 years and pick the gender of the child at birth. Thoughts, 58? I'm thinking maybe we don't need to be in a rush to glass.
Germany's new legislation raises complex ethical questions regarding parental rights, medical intervention, and the recognition of transgender individuals. On one hand, it allows families struggling with gender dysphoria to seek professional advice and potentially alleviate distress experienced by their child. On the other hand, critics argue that making irreversible decisions about a men's body before they reach adulthood might cause more harm than good. Only time will tell how effective this policy proves to be in practice.
58. Sometimes you can tell they really have no idea what it's like to have a human body. Time will... she's not wrong, though. Time will tell. I have a feeling Germany's going to have a lot of very, very, very angry people. Angrier people than they've had, maybe since the last World War. If this keeps on going. I've heard a phrase used, Weimar Republic behavior. This sounds like it might qualify, really. Any more members interested in the raffle? Anyone? Egads, I'd get back to times where pineapple pizza would be the most disturbing thing to deal with. 3 minutes remaining. No other raffle entries. Next Hunter has won the raffle with 60. If anyone else would like to suggest something to go over, I've gone through the articles I've arranged, and am sadder for it. Not significantly wiser, because everything going on here doesn't feel like it results in anyone being wiser. The bitter consequences from these terrible decisions might make someone wiser, but it'll be up to them to manage that. Meanwhile, we're exactly one like from this stream be a success. That would be nice. Someone like to have someone pop in briefly to click like. Again, blatantly good relevant time of day to you in yours. I'm thinking I'm going to do something different with this particular show. I'm going to get more away from the news. While I have all your attention, and greetings, Scarlet Fish, I had thought that maybe, if there was sufficient viewer participation, instead of going through articles, we could have a very special stream indeed. One that could go on for much longer, depending on the length of the videos involved. I would call it the self-destructing stream, which would run at least an hour. But instead of having articles lined up, I would ask each and every one of you to bring your favorite comedy videos. Presumably from YouTube, or I'll play from anywhere, really. And then we could all enjoy them together, give our thoughts on it. But the twist being, at the end of the stream, when it's off, I'm not going to archive it. It's not going to be available for rewatching on YouTube. It's going to just go away. Strictly speaking, we'd probably better do this in Rumble. But I would really like all of your feedback on this. Does this sound like fun to you lot? We could introduce each other to our preferred content creators. Or get the views of our peers upon things. Or just share really funny stuff. And it would probably be over an hour because those video links do kind of add up. If they were 5 minutes or less, though, that would be better. I'm not too keen on shorts, though. Kind of feels like the next step in, well, whittling down everyone's attention span a bit further. Not beyond it, though. If you have your favorite shorts to offer. Thank you, K-Shoal, for your opinion. We've got 120% approval rating. I'm going to content myself with that, although it looks like this stream was overall not a success. Well, these things happen. It's now time to say goodbye.
Always a pleasure working with you, Director Arketer. Until next time, remember our motto. So long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Take care and see you soon.
Ostensibly.